Oh yeah, and how many of this? Wait, when they beat oh yeah. You saw each other.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Are we sitting back here?
I don't get it.
Okay, fine. No, sit down. Okay, no, I take it. Sit. We clean this road, drive. You can take your. Oh, we can see. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're sitting, yeah. Yeah. Why? Yes. Oh my gosh. We fashion it today. Oh, yeah. We'll still be done for 7:30.
Definitely usually. What's your name again? Just.
It's inconvenient. I'm like, hey, if that helps.
That's okay.
Like 9 times out of 10, if you say like one or like half the people in the need will come. So,
That's true.
I mean, it's like really good. Maybe that's gonna make it smell.
Like there's usually a couple.
I've been here since 2, so I didn't really.
It's like always like obnoxiously.
That's good.
Early, smelly.
When my first Shabbat here, I was like the first one. Like besides like Sam.
I was like, I'm like, and talking so.
Well, the first actually.
We're going to get started just in the interest of getting us to dinner. Nemato umanahayim shevera gam yachad. Nemato umanahayim shevera gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Nemato umanai shevera gam yachad. Nemato umanai shevera gam yachad. Hello, everyone. Welcome. If you'll please turn in your Sidurim to page 2. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Bachuni l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Now the page 4 from Mizmor LeDavid. Mizmor LeDavid, Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, Havu l'Adonai kavod shemo, Ishtachavu l'Adonai b'hadrat kodesh. Kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim. Kol Adonai ba'al koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et arsei halvanon, Vayakidem kimo egel, Lebanon v'siryon, kimo ben remim. Kol Adonai chotzev lavot eish, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yecholel ayalot, Vayachesof ya'arot uvhechalo, Kulo omer kavod. Adonai lamabu yashaf, Vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo b'shalom. Everyone, please, please. We're going to do the Chadodi. I've got a little bit of a new melody. I was practicing it earlier. You probably all know the melody. I was practicing it, so bear with me because I didn't get a shot because I was bored with the old melody. Okay. V'chadoti v'ikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. V'chadoti v'ikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shalom v'zato v'liborecha tishmianu ha'el ha'mikat adonai echad u'shmahu echad v'shremo tiferet v'litila v'chadoti v'ikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Mikdash melech meluka kumitzito ha'afecha v'avlach shevet ve'emechavecha v'yakov ha'vayichema v'chadoti v'ikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Itzoriri kiva oreku uri shir dahabehi Adonai kavahitila v'echadoti v'ikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. V'hahiyu v'shusa shosai rachakumo v'evalahi yasis alai Elohai katan ha'akala v'chadoti v'ikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Everyone please rise and face the back of the room as if we are welcoming a bride. Koli v'shalom teret ba'ala gamasicha u'tzala tov emune al segulav koli chala v'chadoti v'ikrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Please remain standing for Baruch Hu, which is on page 4, and then to page 5 as well. La 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 la. La 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? La 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 la. Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? La 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 la. Once more. La 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 la. And we're now on page 5. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. We're now on page 7. Now, this is the second blessing before the Shema. Talking about God's love for the world. Zavat Olam. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Havta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadita Al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shachveinu uvkumeinu נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו Yisrael. Please turn to page 8 and rise for the Shema and V'ahavta. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Next line silently to yourself. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshachtecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvihisharecha. Please be seated and turn to page 11 of the Shamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berito laham. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berito lam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael ohuti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berito lam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berito lam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berito lam. And now please back to page 10 from Micha Mocha. Mi chamocha b'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, malchutecha ra'u v'necha, okei hayam lifnei Moshe, ze lianu v'amru. And now, page 19, we'll go to Misha Berach. Misha Berach is a prayer, as most of you probably know, for healing. Healing of mind and body, of spirit. Tonight I'm keeping in mind particularly the best man at my wedding, my best friend's niece is in the hospital. I'm keeping her in my mind. Mi shebeirach avoteinu mikor habracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen. Yishebeirach ha'imoteinu mikor habracha le'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Thank you. I'd like to talk just a little bit before we get to the Amida. Talk a little bit about the Torah portion. This week's Torah portion is called Vayera. There are 54 parshiyot we read over the course of a Jewish year. Some of them are. I was talking to my mom earlier today. Sorry. And my mom, who likes to watch these on stream them for her, told me that it's important that I slow down my speaking. And then she instructed me very clearly, do not say this in front of everyone at services. So Mom, you're not in charge of me. Some of these parshiyot are beautiful. They have moments of love and faith and devotion, things that we should absolutely try to emulate. Others, especially as we get into the summer, are very detailed, perhaps not the most interesting, but they're necessary to understand why we place such importance on our holy sites. We read about individuals who are flawed. They're deeply human, and yet they are, like most of us, capable of greatness. And there are other portions that have some things we have to really, really struggle with. Vayera has some of the most well-known stories in all of the Tanakh. This week's portion is Sodom and Gomorrah. It is the birth of Isaac. It is the Akedah, the almost sacrifice of Isaac. All of these have been dissected and discussed and debated hundreds of thousands of times, if not millions of times over the millennia, from every conceivable perspective. But tonight I want to focus solely on the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, let's get this out of the way from the Maybe I do need to slow down. Maybe my mom was right. Moms are usually right, I guess, is really the lesson to take away from this. From the point of view of 2023, this is a bad story. I mean, there's not really very much good that comes out of it. It's the Tanakh has a violent mob attacking Abraham and his guests as they visit Lot. But then Lot offers up his daughters, and he highlights his daughters' virginity as saying, take them instead. These women, of course, later in this portion have their own separate troubling anecdote, but that's a different story. But what I want to focus on is not the aspects that are challenging. I want to focus on the fact that Abraham, who was at this point the main character, finding the righteous among the evil. Adonai tells him that Sodom and Gomorrah are to be killed, or to be destroyed. Abraham asks if he finds 50 righteous people in Sodom and Gomorrah, will Adonai spare the town? Adonai says yes. And Abraham goes back and says, well, okay, well, maybe it's 45 or 40 or 30 or 20 or 10. God says yes. If there were 10 righteous in all of these cities, he would not destroy it. In the end, Lot and his wife and daughters are allowed to escape, though his wife is turned into a pillar of salt for other reasons. But the cities are destroyed. And so from this perspective, should we consider that Abraham failed? I mean, the cities were destroyed. But I think that's asking absolutely the wrong question. Failure and success are relative. The rabbis of the Talmud viewed this conversation between Abraham and Adonai as prayer. It's presented as conversation. They viewed it as prayer. It's profound. It's almost confrontational. And the 20th century thinker Abraham Joshua Heschel wrote that this kind of prayer is important. He said, prayer is meaningless unless it is subversive, unless it seeks to overthrow and to ruin the pyramids of callousness, hatred, opportunism, falsehoods. In this way, I think that Abraham's decision to say, Adonai, will you save the city? To stand up, to speak truth to power, it represents a success. We also hear in this particular parsha what I consider to be Abraham's most famous line, which is when the angel comes down to say, Abraham, where are you? He says, anybody? What does he say? No one? He says, Hineni. He says, here I am. At a time when thousands of people, perhaps evil people, perhaps debauched people, but they were still people, were destined to die, Abraham was there advocating to save them. And so the lesson I kind of want to leave you with is we all have our internal moral compass. We can tell when something doesn't feel right. We can tell when it goes against what we know to be correct, not to be the correct, as I wrote in my notes because I was typing very quickly. Many times, because there is just so much going on in the world, so many injustices, we may simply give up or just read about it or just say, there's so much to do, why should we try to do anything? I have no judgment, that's normal. But when something is really, really important, when we see that something in the world, something that so thoroughly violates what we know to be decent and moral, Judaism impels us to stand up. There's, as we all know, a lot going on today. Not just Israel Hamas. I'm sure that's dominated much of your social media, much of your thoughts. But there's also lots of other things going on as well. Let's not lose sight of the other major things happening in the world. I want to encourage you to find what is important. So you can't stand up for everything. Find what is important. There may be setbacks as you get involved. You might not have immediate success. But you cannot consider yourself a failure if, when a cause warrants it, you say, Hineni. Shabbat Shalom. Please turn now, ladies and gentlemen, to page 12, the Hatzikadosh, as we lead into the Amidah. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon Uvchayetecho Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Uvizmahan Kahariv, V'yemaru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mivorach, Me'olam Olam Me'amaya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yipar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Kudusha, B'richu, Le'ela, Min Kol Birchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechemata, Dahamihiran, V'yalma, V'yemeru, Amen. Everyone will please rise on page 13 for the Amidah. We will recite these first few paragraphs together as one community. And then there will be space for silent prayer followed by personal reflection at the end. You all will pray with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mefig Ula Livnei V'neihem L'man Shemaho V'Yahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Abraham V'Ezrat Sarah. Turn the page, please, to page 14. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye metim atarav lehoshia, mashiv haruach u'morid ha'gashem, mechakel chayim bechesed, mechaye metim berachamim rabim, somech noflim berofech holim, umatir asurim, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונעמת על החיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. All right, please continue silently, and when you're done and there's no rush, you may add personal prayers, and when you're completely finished, have a seat. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Once more. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. I'd like to offer a prayer for the state of Israel. It's not in your CDs, so don't look. It's short. It's Avinu Shabbat Shemayim, stronghold and redeemer of the people of Israel. Bless the state of Israel. Shield it with your love. Spread over it the shelter of your peace. Guide its leaders and advisors with your light and your truth. Help them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who defend our holy land. Deliver them. Crown their efforts with triumph. Bless the land with peace and its inhabitants with lasting joy. And let us say, if you'll please now turn to page 20 for Aleinu. And rise. When we get about, well, let me count now. 6 lines down to the word Va'anachnu, we will bend our knees and bow, and then we will rise when we get to the word Lifnei, which is on the next line. So we'll stay bowed until that point. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol la'tet gedula liyotzeh breshit shelo asanu k'goyeh haratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot hadama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu
ככל המונם, אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטש שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You will remain risen. Stay standing for the mourner's Kaddish on page 21. Yitkadav Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Ba'alma Divrach Hirutei V'yamlich Malchutei. B'chayachon V'yomechon Uchayed Zechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv V'yamru. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Olamei Amaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh. V'yithadar V'yitaleh V'yitalah Shemei Kedusha. Ve'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiram b'yama v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'yimru, oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. All right, please be seated. Before we end, let's see if I have any announcements. Dinner is right after this. Tomorrow, UCF plays 3:30, and they're not here, right?
Cincinnati.
They play at Cincinnati. Sunday, there's NFL watch party
1 o'clock.
at 1 o'clock. But for those of you who are Dolphins fans, Dolphins play at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday because they're playing in Germany. Good game, Dolphins Chiefs in Germany. It's a pretty good one. What else is next week?
Casino night.
Casino night. Yes. Jonah decided not to come to this one. Casino night is next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday night at
5:30 till 8:30.
so next Wednesday evening at 5:30 to 8:30. Then yeah.
Everyone gets 5 free plays basically. If you RSVP before November 1st, you get 10 free plays. Everything else, if you want to continue playing, you're welcome to. It just takes a small donation to Nikon, which is dance marathon.
Yeah. Excellent. Reminder, Saturday night, you will gain an hour of sleep. It's the end of daylight savings time. Saturday night. This Saturday night. Yes, like tomorrow. So yeah, you gain an hour. So they'll do Saturday, which is really Sunday morning. You'll do 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. and then 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. again. Or hopefully you'll just be no. Bars still close at 2. No. No one should be out of the bar at 2 a.m. No, that's not a good choice. You're not 21 yet. You shouldn't be at bars anyway. Anything else? All right. Let's end with Adon Olam on page 22. Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'terem kol Yitzir Nivra V'yed Nasa B'cheftu kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam V'yacharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam Hashem Alach B'terem kol Yitzir Nivra V'yed Nasa
v'chetzu kol. Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam. V'hu echad v'ein sheni. Laham shelo lahachbira Adon Olam. B'li reshit, b'li tachlit. V'lo ha'oz v'ham nisra Adon Olam, Adon Olam. Hashem alach b'terem kol. Yitzir nivra li'ed nasa. V'chetzu kol. Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam. V'hu eli v'chai go'ali. V'turchav li b'eit zara Adon Olam. V'hu nisi umanos li. Manakosi b'yom ekra Adon Olam. Adon Olam. Hashem alach b'terem kol. Yitzir nivra li'ed nasa. V'chetzu kol. Azai melech shemo nikra Adon Olam. Last verse. B'yahado avkid ruchi. V'eit yishan v'a'ira Adon Olam. V'im ruchi geviyati. Adonai li v'lo ira Adon Olam. Shabbat shalom, everyone. If you can, Todah. If you can leave your, actually, it would be even better if you made a pile of them on one of the chairs. And then dinner is falafel and schnitzel and couscous. And Israeli and matzo balls, yes.